Doctor, doctor, can't you see I'm burning, burning? And I don't know why I'm thinking of the Thompson twins, but there we go. I've got my chopper, and I'm making breakfast juice, and I've not made a regular video for some time. I've been doing the book club videos, but I just wanted to kind of have a little check-in, and I thought I'm making my breakfast, so I would check in with you as well. So let me just show you what we've got here. So my breakfast juice this morning, because I've got a bit of a funny tummy after something I ate yesterday actually, so I'm having a kilo of carrots, excuse my dripping tap, I've got 5 oranges, there's a lemon, a piece of fresh turmeric, a big piece of ginger, and they're making a nice face for you. Hello there, how are you? It's very nice actually, I like that. And we're a two juicer house. So here's our Olympus X citrus press, which is a fantastic thing. And as outside, it's 1 degree out there, and we have an Omega juicer. Yeah, but our kitchen is absolutely tiny, so I don't have an angle where I can set up so I can show you the Omega working and things like that. So I'll just do the citrus stuff while I chat to you, and then I'll do my carrots and then kind of check back in with you. So yeah, how are you doing? I realise that we don't actually ask each other how we're doing a lot of the time, and we just kind of start, especially kind of if we're becoming much more kind of embroiled now in the digital world. It's become so normalised now that everything is just online and everything, so that we just kind of sort of like constantly interrupt each other, really. And if we actually want to make change and progress and be communities, if we want those things, I find there's a simple word that seems to have a magic touch, and that is hello, followed by how are you. And amazingly, if we actually listen to the how are you, then that would be amazing, rather than being ready with our thing that we want to say, or the agenda that we want to put across. And actually, I go a bit further than that. This is something we've been talking about in the class quite a bit, is we mistake the stories that we tell each other all the time for the thing that's important. You know, our currency. We have several currencies in the world. There's obviously the currency of money, but the currency between people and relationships tends to be, just let me sort this tap out, tends to be the exchange of stories. This is my story, and if you believe in this, then I will love you, or I will be your friend. If you don't believe in my story, I will hate you, I will be your enemy. I don't care about your story, the only story that's important is my story, you know, that sort of thing. And or even friendships, you know, that we think are friendships. We meet and we share sort of stories of our pain together. You know, this terrible thing happened to me, and we create a kind of person out of all the collected little stories, and that's who we think we are. And all this can be solved with my orange juice. But no, but it can actually be solved quite easily. And the way forward is the way inside, you know. So that when we meet each other, if we actually are just a space for the other person, and a space for our own stories, which are trying to burst through at the same time, but just actually, you know, beginning to understand that we're called human beings, and so the the answer's kind of in the name. So being together is the point, being with each other. So, and when we just are being with each other, then the kind of the simple fact of our humanity and love is just kind of present. It's only when our identities come through the stories and they take over that we get lost, that we fall out. You don't believe in me, you don't believe what I'm saying, you know. It's like this: if only everybody who talked the same way as you would die and go away, you know, then the world would be okay. People who talk like me, we're the people who are right. So yeah, we can carry on like that. We've done, you know, however long. I have no idea how long we've been here. Been here a while on the planet. Oh, I'm squeezing a lemon now. You can squeeze my lemon, baby. You know, you can squeeze my lemon, baby. So that's it. That's the citrus done. Brilliant thing. And there we have. Ooh, let me just take that out. I'm just going to give that a wash. Put that in the sink. There we go. So there we have the oranges and lemons mixed together. And next I'll do the carrots, the ginger and the turmeric in the cold pressed juicer. And then I actually pour the orange juice through the cold pressed juicer as well, because it just helps kind of carry things down more, and then that'll be my breakfast. Yeah, sort of just sharing the space with each other. So that's kind of like we've noticed in the meditation group, for example, as we kind of settle down from our stories, then there's that feeling of kind of community amongst us. It's only when we then pick our stories back up again afterwards and put those back on, because we're feeling a bit vulnerable, because we're open, we're not used to having kind of open space in us. So we kind of put our armour back on quickly and kind of head goes down, you know, like this, and we can't quite look at each other or something. And then we go back to being people again, and then the stories start again, you know. And we've even noticed it with the book club that I run every Thursday, in that by having the stories and the poems that we're looking at kind of like, well, trying to look at like some of the best stories and poetry from all around the world, rather than kind of sticking to one particular kind of English literature model or American literature model or whatever. We're just actually trying to meet as much humanity as possible in these stories. We've started finding that because we have the story to talk about rather than our individual politics or what we believe are our individual politics, because those are things that we've pushed sort of our identity into, and so we hold on to them because it makes us who we are. Or our stories, this thing happened to me. And that does come up in the book group. You know, you read a story out and then, oh, that reminds me of when I... long story about nothing to do with the text whatsoever. So I have this trick of just saying, yes, but let's just return to the text and da-da-da-da-da. But by having something that kind of overarches us, that's kind of benign in a way, and actually has high values, because art has sort of higher human values, then that creates kind of space in which the kind of the people are, and then just by being in the space together, our spirit is just together. We are being human. And when we meditate, it's the same. So I know in the 21st century our Sangha is different now, because we we use apps to meditate and things, and we're kind of meditating at the same time as maybe a few thousand people around the world. Well, if we allow ourselves, we can actually get that sense of being as well. And maybe we can meet with another person, or we can go along to a meditation group. You're always welcome to come to ours, of course, if you're ever in Hebden. And I'm starting to take things out a bit more with some retreats and things next year. So, you are always welcome to kind of come along. And we have our Conscious Friday stuff as well, which is specifically designed to be that. We have some yoga, very gentle yoga first, designed, not pre-planned, but kind of actually Kay, who runs the yoga part, kind of unfolds it specifically for the people who are there. Then we share juice together that Kay and I have both made. And then then I lead some meditation, and that's also based on kind of like what we feel the needs of that group are that night. But the whole idea is to kind of create something in the town that is a space for sort of real conscious community. We're not trying to create energy. We're not trying to create some spiritual thing, because that can't be created, of course. We're just, the sacred thing is that we are actually together, and that we actually maybe don't tell our story so much, that we actually have a chance to be together in a different way. And then that kind of spreads out and actually does affect the community around us and the town around us. Let me press pause on this, make the rest of this juice, and then I'll kind of click back in again. So, this is all mine. Fantastic. Wow. So the ginger is so warming, and you can actually, opens your chest up, and sort of cleansing for your body, calms down your stomach, increases your digestive fire. The turmeric is reduces swelling in the body, reduces swelling in the organs. It's anti-cancerous, and it's been proven. That's why it's used so much around the world. It's been proven over and over again to kind of have amazing levels of these qualities. Carrots, so nutritious, vitamin A, cheap, that's the other thing. And oranges, vitamin C, all that kind of fuel for the day, for the energy. And and people often say, well, I can't afford to juice. So I'm not going to go out for a coffee this morning. Okay, a coffee in our town averages £2.50, £2.60. I have a black single shot Americano if I have a coffee. So that's £2.50, £2.60. This juice, the 5 oranges, this is absolutely true. They were not bought from any wholesaler or anything like this. This was just a supermarket juice. 5 oranges were £1.30 in Sainsbury's, and that's no plug for Sainsbury's whatsoever. At the same time, that's just where I did this shopping this time, because their quality is actually seems to be higher than other places. The bag of carrots, 1 kg of carrots, I think was 45p. So what's that? So we're at 175. I've used maybe 3 or 4 p's worth of ginger, maybe 2 p's worth of turmeric, or 5p, something like that. Let's call it 10p. Let's go crazy. Let's call it 10p. So that's 185. So that's cheaper than a coffee. So in a week, that's very easy, And then if you got your act together, which I don't, and got yourself along to a place where you buy 10 kgs of carrots and they do it for a £5 or something, or that's actually more expensive, isn't it? 10 kgs of carrots and they do it for like £3 or something, and that's fine. But this whole juice anyway is about maybe what's that, $2 US, or and that's a litre of juice we've got going here. And if you bought an individual juice, so we've got just under about 400 millilitres in this glass. You go and have a juice like this somewhere, cold pressed juice, you'd be paying £4 for it, £3.50, £4 minimum. If you're in London, you may be looking at £6 for a juice, just one glass. So £12 worth of juice outside for less than £2 inside. And you can still have your coffee if you want. Anyway, yeah, that was it. I just wanted to have a little check-in with you, really, and just this little theme of looking after yourself. That things are more affordable than we think, and it's also about our priorities, of course, as well. and that being together is what we really need, you know. But we are so addicted to imagining that we are the story, and so there's no room for love. You know, there's no room for each other and for our friendship. So what are we supposed to do? You might ask the question. Somebody might even put in the comments below, what are you supposed to do? Aren't we supposed to talk anymore? Well, that would be a hell of a start, wouldn't it? You know. My wife might watch this because I never stop talking. And she'd be like, what are you going on about being silent? And I'm such a chatterbox. I mean silence on the inside. Just by, you know, our practice, we come into peace inside ourselves. That space opens up inside ourselves. And so it is good to kind of put a stop on this a bit, especially when we're with other people, because it creates this kind of third person when we talk. You know, it's like another person there, a mind stream. The unacknowledged third, I think they call it in Jungian psychology. I might be wrong about that. And it kind of takes over both the people, you know. And if there's a group of people, of course, it gets much worse. And then, of course, our pain body kicks in as well, because it wants to express and it wants the other person's sympathy, or it wants to kind of create pain in the other person as well as pain in ourselves. You can always tell it's the pain body by the desire for it to kind of create pain. It's very simple to spot. So the second we do that, we kind of just take a pause, take a breath, and just come back to ourselves. But don't take a pause and a breath in the head. Head's okay, but it's better if it's down here, you know, actually in the body. So yeah, of course we can talk to each other, but maybe what we should do is drink some juice, John, and don't have the next idea ready. Don't be pre-prepared with all the things that you have to get through, that you must say to prove that you exist. Maybe that's the way. So we actually talk to each other. I say a bit, they say a bit, and we don't say anything. And remembering, or knowing, interesting that it's the being together that's important. And amazingly, then all that kind of having to tolerate stuff and kind of, I don't know if I can kind of keep on going with this little voice in the head, you know, I don't give a how long I can sit here listening to this shit, man, you know, kind of thing. That can just float away. And here we are. Anyway, I hope you have a really beautiful day. See, I'm just allowing the mind stream to stop. And, you know, mind's useful when we need it. And then when we don't need it, we could just rest in being. We don't need to be addicted to the turning machine all the time. Have a beautiful day. That's what I wanted to say. Have a fabulous and beautiful day. And I'll see you very soon.